Όσοι είστε εδώ πέρα, καλησπέρα. Σε όσους μπαίνετε τώρα, καλησπέρα και σε εσάς, τι άλλο πράγμα από τέτοια ώρα. Και πατάμε πλάι.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Oh. What the fuck? Ah.
Son Goku.
Son Goku.
Superman. It's time to answer the ultimate question, and we're taking it all into play.
We're examining Superman's extensive mainline comic book canon. Given Dragon Ball Super's contentious continuities, we'll include all three, just to be thorough, plus Dragon Ball heroes.
He's with my boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Αρχικά να σχολιάσω ότι πολλοί λέγανε, η δικαιολογία είναι ότι είναι άδικο ότι στο Superman χρησιμοποιούν ό,τι γουστάρουνε, ενώ στον Goku δεν χρησιμοποιούσαν και καλά τον Xeno Goku, που είναι το ultimate form του Goku. Και η δικαιολογία που δώσανε, εκτός ότι βαριόντουσαν να κάνουν research αυτοί οι δύο, ήταν ότι ο Ultra Instinct Goku, ο Master Ultra Instinct νίκησε τον Xeno, άρα τι τον θέλετε. Για να δούμε τι θα κάνουν τώρα.
Far away, in an enchanted land, an old master found a boy and marveled at his uncommon strength. This is the story of Son Goku.
Chances are, if you've watched some localized anime, you can thank this guy.
Inspired by martial arts films and his wife's interest in Chinese culture, Akira Toriyama crafted the story and the character that would define generations to come.
Dragon Ball! Kakarot was born a low-class Saiyan on the planet Vegeta, narrowly escaped its destruction by Frieza, and was raised on Earth by happy old Grandpa Gohan.
Not just raised, but trained. Gohan
Καταρρώνει τι λέει. Full name Son Goku. Birth name Kakarot. Age 40 χρονών. Άνω των 40. Ύψος μπλα μπλα. Ο mentor του είναι ο Grandpa Gohan. Ρώσοι. Πούστιδες, δεν το λένε μας τέλος πάντων. Από έναν Ρώσο. Από τον Γκάμι. Τον Ginkai. Τον Whis. Τον Μέρους. Και όλους τους γύρω γύρω. Discipline. Gohan, Salot, ναι, οκ. Πάρουν και παιχνίδια. Ανάντης Farmer, Firefighter, Office Worker, γελάω, επειδή δούλεψε μια φορά securitas. Favorite food, fish, soda,
began Goku's teachings in martial arts, which he would find to be his true calling under the guidance of Master Roshi. Specifically, he learned the Kame-sen and Ryu style, which focuses on discipline and tenacity, both of which strongly define Goku's character.
The more he learned, the more he wanted to improve. This little low-class monkey boy would prove that hard work and dedication can beat raw talent. Within just a few years, he was so strong, the only worthy teachers left were gods. And a talking cat, but mostly gods. When you're training to dodge lightning, you know you're a few leagues over everyone else.
He did have a slight advantage. Saiyans are naturally superhuman. They also take Nietzsche's famous words, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger," very, very literally.
It's almost unfair how much of a boost in power they get after they're hurt.
While Saiyans like Vegeta may have abused this trait, it suits Goku. No matter how many times you knock him down, he will get back up stronger than before.
It helps that he knows so many cool combat moves, like the Kamehameha!
An incredibly powerful technique that focuses one's ki into a single point for a devastating beam.
So challenging, it took Roshi decades to master, but Goku got it in like 5 seconds.
It's incredibly versatile, with over 50 different variations. For example, Goku can curve the beam.
Κάτσε, αφού μιλάνε για το Kamehameha, γιατί δείχνουν άσχετες τεχνικές. Ναι, After Image, αυτόνομος Ultra Instinct, Distract to Dish, Dragon Fist. Εντάξει, αυτά είναι διάφορα. Εντάξει, Energy Landmines, αυτό το πήραν από το Super με το Jiren. Evil Contain and Wait, Flight, Fusion Dance, Godbind, αυτό είναι από τον Broly. Hakai, αυτό είναι από το manga.
Or even shoot it from his feet.
But unlike most Saiyans, he doesn't just use ki to blow shit up. Moves like the Solar Flare, Energy Landmine, and Godbind require a lot more strategy and planning.
Because while Goku isn't exactly book smart, he is a genius when it comes to martial arts. He doesn't just train to conquer his opponents, but to conquer himself.
He's also got some...
Θέλω να σχολιάσω λίγο αυτή την ατάκα, γιατί αυτή η ατάκα είναι ωραία που είπανε, αλλά την μεταφράζουν λάθος. Τι εννοώ? Και έχουμε όλη αυτή την καραμέλα που παίζουμε πολλές φορές που λέμε ο Σαϊτάμα είναι limitless, του έχουν βγάλει το limiter. Ποιο είναι το νόημα να λέμε ότι κάποιος έχει limits και τα σπάει συνεχώς και το νόημα να λέμε είναι limitless. Άμα ο μόνος λόγος που έχεις όρια είναι ώστε να τα σπάσει κάθε φορά, είσαι limitless. Γιατί limit τι είναι? Limit είναι χτυπάω την κορυφή μου. Τι εννοώ? Πάω στο γυμναστήριο, σηκώνω 150 κιλά, φτάνω 151, 151 δεν πάει 152. Αυτό είναι limit. Δεν το ξεπερνάς. Αλλά άμα εγώ σηκώνω 100 κιλά, τον άλλο μήνα σηκώνω 120, τον παράλληλο 130, μετά 140, δεν έχω βρει ακόμα το limit μου, δεν έχω βρει ακόμα την κορυφή μου. Άρα αυτό με προβληματίζει, γιατί στην προηγούμενη μάχη είχαν πει τη δικαιολογία ότι και καλά ο Goku, ο Superman είναι limitless, μπορεί να κάνει τα πάντα. Ο Goku δεν είναι limitless, αλλά πάντα θα ξεπερνάει τα όρια του. Άρα limitless. Να ξέρετε ότι το Μαφούμπα θα το παίξουν πολύ, διότι θα πούνε είναι μαγική επίθεση και πιάνει στο Σούπερμαν.
Any container could be used for the Mafuba sealing technique.
Then there's Kaioken, aka instant steroids. Goku's multiplied his power by 20 with it before, and in a movie he even got it up to times 100.
Okay.
What a badass!
The Genki Dama, or Spirit Bomb, is potentially his strongest attack, but it requires considerable.
Τι λέει Spirit Bomb? Gathers energy from the surrounding environment, life forms, even planet Goku has absorbed its energy. Okay.
Time, unlike instant transmission, which is a teleport that's instant. The way it works.
Επιτέλους το πάνε σωστά.
A sort of beacon, then teleports to their location by launching himself through an alternate dimension where time stands still. Yes, according to the Daizenshuu guidebook, it's a dimension hop. You can actually see this in between space in some movies and games.
And the dubs wanted us to think it shot Goku's molecules around at light speed. Silly English.
The dubs did more than that. In fact, early dubs of Dragon Ball Z tried to rewrite Goku as a Superman figure. Even his famous speech on Namek about being the light in the dark.
Πω, αυτό με έχει κουράσει πάρα πολύ αυτή η ατάκα. Εντάξει, καταλαβαίνω ότι είπε αυτή την ατάκα in the light, in the darkness, ally to good, nightmare to you, που οι Αμερικάνοι δεν ξέρω για ποιο λόγο έχουν τόσο. Έχουν τρελαθεί. Οκ, είπε μια πιο cheesy ατάκα από το είμαι ο Super Saiyan Son Goku. Εντάξει, θα σκοτώσουμε, δεν είναι τόσο. Και καλά λένε ότι χαλάει το χαρακτήρα του Goku γιατί τον κάνει περισσότερο ηρωικό, ενώ ο Goku δεν είναι τόσο ηρωικό. Πολύ μπερδεμένο. Οι Αμερικάνοι για κάποιο λόγο έχουν πάρει πολύ σοβαρά το γεγονός ότι ο Τοριγιάμα καμιά φορά τον ενοχλούσε που τον Goku τον παρουσιάζαν σαν ήρωα, αλλά είναι ήρωας. Απλά δεν θέλει να είναι ήρωας. Πώς να το πω. Ο Τοριγιάμα δεν τον σκεφτόταν σαν τον παραδοσιακό ήρωα, τον σκεφτόταν σαν έναν άνθρωπο που έκανε το καλό. Επίσης, να σχολιάσω κάτι, μέχρι στιγμής δεν έχουν δώσει. Τώρα δίνουν στατιστικά, επίσης δεν λένε για δυνάμεις που με προβληματίζει.
Darkness was originally about him coming to terms with his Saiyan heritage, accepting his anger and pride, avenging his people by defeating Frieza, and declaring himself the Super Saiyan.
Hell yeah! If there's any scene that deserves the word epic, it's when he went gold. Super Saiyan and its sequels all have official power multipliers, but they threw us for a loop by turning Goku into a god.
Super Saiyan God certainly changed things up. Goku gained Divine Ki, a pure form of Ki unspoiled by mortal hands. Unlike normal Ki, it can't be detected and appears to have healing properties.
Kinda like Senzu beans. Did you know one Senzu has so much healing juice it can regenerate a person's lost limbs?
Mm-hmm.
They're missing out.
God Goku reached a level of power that could compete with the greatest of deities, nearly shattering the whole universe with a single clash on his first go. Dragon Ball's cosmology is unique. This model is said to be an accurate depiction of Universe 7, but there's a wrinkle there. When all of humanity went to heaven,
because Boo went berserk,
Fidel commented that heaven is just as large as a universe. And the
ναι, ο κόσμος του Dragon Ball είναι οριακά σαν τρία σύμπαντα. Είναι ο κόσμος μας, είναι αυτό που είναι από πάνω που είναι ο δρόμος του φιδιού, ο παράδεισος, υπάρχει η πλανήτης των Kaioshin, υπάρχει το Makai, δηλαδή το Demon Realm. Είναι σχετικό με ένα βίντεο που έχω γράψει, κάποια στιγμή θα το ηχογραφήσω. Είναι σχεδόν ένα σύμπαν στο Dragon Ball, είναι σχεδόν σαν 3.
And Goku could destroy that much the first time he went God. And he didn't lose that power. He learned how to use it even better, even in base form. Now, imagine how much stronger he became when he stacked Super Saiyan on Super Saiyan God. He became Super Saiyan Blue.
Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan.
Yeah, not saying that. Or after he trained with some almighty angels. Or when he perfected the blue hairdo and stacked Kaioken on top of that.
Goku has certainly performed great feats with God Ki. Breaking through Hit's time stop by forcing himself into the future. Holding off Infinite Zamasu, who was a sentient timeline. Defeating Jiren, who shook the entire world of Void by just walking.
He even tried out Hakai, the destruction god move that nopes you out of existence. Your being and your soul erased from all of time and space.
Culminating in his greatest form.
Και δεν είχε γίνει καν Ultra Instinct όταν τα έκανε.
Isn't a normal transformation. It's a state of mind. Ultra Instinct is the highest peak of martial arts. Subconsciously making optimal choices because you're in the zone. Doing without thinking.
Something Goku has always been trained to do. Technically, it can be used in any form, but when perfected, autonomous Ultra Instinct makes you untouchable. No matter what comes his way, Goku will automatically dodge, block, and counter to the best of his ability, even pushing his body well beyond his physical limits. So far beyond, in fact, Ultra Instinct can summon a massive avatar to defend him when his own body can't.
That sounds really intense.
It is, which is why he's developed incremental versions
of the Goku version.
It's extremely difficult to maintain the full form for long.
Until you get to Dragon Ball Heroes, aka Dragon Ball fanfiction gone Kaioken times 1,000.
While technically a different continuity, CC Goku is functionally a stand-in for the mainline Goku. His history and powers are the same, making his story just as much of a what-if scenario as the multiple super continuities. The only real difference is Toriyama's not really involved.
This Goku used instant transmission to teleport through time and dimensions. He outsped a god who could see the future. He defeated Dark King Fu, who was gonna rewrite the entire universe. Hell, this series even makes GT cool. Xeno Goku can break space-time just by going Super Saiyan 4.
Looking back at that goofy monkey boy chopping wood and punching dinosaurs, it's almost overwhelming to think about how far Goku has come. How much he's had to
Τον χαϊπάρουν πολύ τον Goku. Μη μου δίνετε ελπίδες, δεν θα του τη δώσετε τη νίκη.
Everywhere, how to go even further beyond.
Πω μου δίνουν ελπίδα, δεν θα του τη δώσετε τη νίκη. Σταματήστε να με κοροϊδεύετε.
More powerful than a locomotive. It's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman.
Geez, just a locomotive? People in the 40s needed bigger imaginations.
Born on the far-off world of Krypton, the infant Kal-El was sent to Earth by his parents, narrowly escaping Krypton's destruction. Raised by farmers as Clark Kent, he eventually became Superman. Champion of the oppressed, the man of tomorrow.
If you've only seen the movies, forget him. Comic book Clark's not the perfect Boy Scout, and he's definitely not Jesus. Wait, weren't the guys who made him Jewish?
Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster were sons of Jewish immigrants and grew up in a time when anti-Semitism went largely unchallenged.
And then that ugly mustache showed up.
Understandably seeking escape from some truly terrifying horrors, the
Superman
to be a simple solution to overwhelming problems.
A hero who could defeat any evil by just punching it. Hell yeah, that's how I live my life.
After almost 9 decades, Superman has been many things. At the core, his story is one of a refugee, a child who lost his home, left to the mercy of alien people. This new world accepted him, raised him, gave him a new home, because helping others in need is the right thing to do. That's why he became a superhero, the first superhero.
Everything's gotta start somewhere, but he was the first one to really take off.
What the
fuck? I mean, not literally. It took a while, actually, before he learned how to fly.
In fact, when Clark discovered his Kryptonian heritage, he struggled to accept it and subconsciously developed mental blocks, severing him from his true power, which he would uncover throughout his life.
Η μουσική μου αρέσει πάρα πολύ.
He's strong enough to shoulder press the weight of the earth for 5 days straight, or crush coal into perfectly cut diamond.
That's not how that works.
He's fast enough to reach the edge of the universe in seconds, or even break the bonds of infinity. Wait, he can do all that, but Batman can punch him out? Really?
You're probably thinking of Elseworld stories outside main canon like Dark Knight Returns. It's a good question, though. Superman's powers have fluctuated over time for a variety of reasons. However, for Death Battle, we take the characters at their best.
Yeah, like how his breath is so powerful he can sneeze away a solar system or blow air.
Μόνο που το φτέρνισμα το έκανε χρησιμοποιώντας μαγική σκόνη. Ούψ!
are cold enough to freeze ghosts.
Speaking of, his X-ray vision doesn't just see through walls. He can see through your own body and mind to examine your soul.
And yet, he can't see through lead. That's okay though, he can just burn through it with his face. Since he gets his power from the yellow sun, his heat vision burns with the fire of a star. And if beams aren't enough, he can blast it out of his whole body for a super flare. It used to totally drain him, but he's learned how to control it.
Simply put, Superman's powers defy physics. My favorite examples of this are when he rebuilt the reality warping miracle machine from memory, or punched Brainiac so hard every version of him felt it through all of time, or when he gained 10 years worth of medical training through only 5 minutes of reading and then successfully performed lung surgery.
Nice. My favorite example is when he smelled brownies in North Dakota from orbit.
Even beyond his powers, Superman is no novice when it comes to the intricacies of battle.
He's trained in Kryptonian martial arts, which uses G, or as they call it, Shriyar. He even got summoned to Asgard to fight demons with Thor for 1,000 years.
Superman can resist being erased from existence, such as tanking Darkseid's Omega Beams. Even Retcon and the Time Trapper, both of which hijack and alter timelines, can't touch him. Not because of his powerful mental defenses or healing factor, but because he's a cosmic linchpin in the greater metaverse.
Timelines literally revolve around him.
But let's address the S-shaped elephant in the room. You may have noticed we've covered a variety of Superman eras. Superman, and DC Comics as a whole, have gone through multiple retcons.
Golden Age, Silver Age, Pre-Crisis, Post-Crisis, New 52, Rebirth, and so on.
It would help to know which one is the main Superman, right?
Well,
they all are.
Yeah, the latest reboots basically said everything in the main series is kinda canon, even when he had wacky powers like changing his appearance with a super muscular control. Ew. I guess he can still phase through almost anything, even people.
Look, if you really dig into it, this isn't new. Plenty of characters have recalled events from supposedly retcon timelines before.
Yeah, post-crisis Supes did start as less powerful than in pre-crisis, but that was because of the mental blocks.
Though he's not a complete composite, there's so many other Supermen out there.
Future Superman, Big Robot Superman, Commie Superman, Dinosaur Superman. There's a bunch.
Still, this new canon has affected his abilities. For example, he and other Kryptonians can effortlessly travel through time. And while Superman's powers stem from the Earth's yellow sun, exposure to a blue star increases them even further. In fact, upon visiting a white star, he attained a whole new level of power.
When that old baldy Lex teleported him to another galaxy, Superman just popped back up, saying space-time has lost its meaning for him. He really just said that.
Remember, Superman defies physics.
Like when he used heat vision to restart the universe by making an all-new Big Bang.
We've seen that his universe has a radius of at least 100 trillion light years, but we can calculate a more exact figure. The DC universe is 15 billion years old and expands at 60 trillion light years per half second. This means its radius must be over 50 nonillion light years across.
What? That's 31 zeros, and Supes helped make that happen.
Well, about 1/5 of it. That's still immense power, but if you want something bigger, here's the Anti-Monitor blasting Golden Age Superman with all the energy of the antimatter universe. And then Superman,
punched him so hard it kickstarted another one of those reboots.
Now, Superman does have weaknesses. There's kryptonite, of course, and exposure to red starlight can fade his powers over time.
Not all at once. He has been able to move planets around while under a red star, so...
And everyone knows Superman can't deal with magic, but it's more accurate to say he doesn't have any special resistances to it. He's defeated plenty of magic users before, even Shazam.
Superman challenges the idea that absolute power corrupts absolutely. He's the goodest good guy of them all, but there is nuance to being good, even if he is the ultimate power fantasy, unstoppable and incorruptible.
Such as when he took on the World Forger, one of the most powerful reality shapers in all of creation.
Who was in the 6th dimension, crafting a whole new multiverse to replace the one Clark calls home. Who's gonna stop him?
Superman could, and the Forger knew it. So he was trapped on a world with a sun so distant he could never escape. Or so the forger thought.
Instead, Clark found the strength he needed to fly at that sun, dip through a ton of stars, KO the World Forger, and shatter his new multiverse with a single punch. Because that's Superman, a simple solution to overwhelming problems.
He's the kind of person to save a cat from a tree, answer Christmas cards from strangers, and tow hundreds of planets to a new galaxy all in the same day. What's not to like?
Truth and justice has no better champion than the Man of Steel.
Τον χάιπαραν πάρα πολύ. Θέλω να δω. Δεν θέλω ελπίδα, θα χάσει ο Goku. Εντάξει, στο πάρμα πάζει. Δεν τη δίνει την νίκη στον Goku.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Wiz, it's getting to be the holiday season. Slash Death Battle today to get 10% off your first month.
That's better.
Πάμε.
All right, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Επίσης να σχολιάσω ότι για αυτό το Death Battle η φωνή του Goku είναι ο Αμερικάνος Deku. Το My Hero Academia. Α, δεν έχει, απλά παίζουν ξύλο. Α, τα μοντέλα από το Fighters.
Today's the day. We'll finally settle who's stronger.
If you say so.
Πω, νικάει πάρα πολύ ο Goku στην αρχή. Όχι, θα χάσει. Πάντα βάζουν το χαμένο να νικάει στην αρχή. Κιόλας έγινε blue. What the fuck?
Well, I guess we can wish it back later.
World made of cardboard. All right, I'll show you just how powerful I really am.
Looks like a job for...
Uh-oh. Έρχεται, Ultra Instinct.
What do you think?
That was awesome! Nice suit!
Oh, thanks. Kryptonian fabric. My mom made it for me.
Ωραία. Δεν τρώει damage ο Superman. Κύριε κλέφτη, σταμάτα να παίρνεις ενέργεια! What the fuck?
darn it.
Almost had me there. That was actually pretty fun.
Yeah, it sure was. But I'll be stronger next time.
I look forward to it.
Απαράτα μας μαλάκες.
Let's go again.
Αγαμηθείτε. Στον κόρακα.
That's it! The final, indisputable answer! Who am I kidding? People are gonna argue this one forever.
There's so...
Πω. Σιγά μη του τη δίνανε τη νίκη. Σιγά μη του τη δίνανε. Πω. Αγάμις. Ξενέρωσα τώρα. Κλασικά είναι limitless. Για πάμε.
That's it! The final, indisputable answer! Who am I kidding? People are gonna argue this one forever.
There's so many ways this battle could go, especially with all the other continuities.
Yeah, for real. Goku would kick almost every other Superman's ass, except for the main one.
There's a lot to cover, so let's address the 5 categories most representative of this fight.
First up, strength. Both could hit hard enough to break or make their whole universe, or take it in stride, like when Superman got smacked by the whole antimatter universe.
At most, Dragon Ball's universe is 1,505 times larger than our own. But based on the DC Universe's officially established age and rate of expansion, it is 1.6 vigintillion times larger. Over a novemdecillion times more than Goku's.
At some point you reach a number high enough that it just doesn't mean anything anymore. Anyway, Goku's obviously gotten stronger since the Beerus fight, even by billions or trillions of times. He's defeated Jiren, Broly, Moro, and Fu.
But even if we highball Goku by quadrillions or quintillions of times, the gap is just too much, especially with the World Forger feat. Not even Heroes competes with that. Superman takes the edge in strength.
But strength isn't everything. Let's talk speed. Both are obviously way faster than light, but Superman crossed that mega-sized universe of his in seconds and flew faster than infinity.
Makes sense, he can keep up with the Flash, whose speed is so ludicrous it's unquantifiable.
Don't count Goku out though. Flying across the entire afterlife in base form and outspeeding Eos's future sight takes some crazy speed.
Fighting Zamasu as an omnipresent merged timeline also implies immeasurable speeds.
That, combined with instant transmission and ultra instinct, could probably keep up.
Maybe. Quantifiably, Superman is faster, but both are immeasurable. The safest bet here is to say they tie in speed.
Especially when we look at skill. Goku's a martial arts master. He's definitely got better battle instincts. He wants to fight and is dedicated to his training, while Superman sees training as a means to an end.
Superman's knowledge in pressure point combat and Kryptonian martial arts are impressive, but he's only used them a few times. It would be disingenuous to say he's an equivalent master at them.
So Goku wins in skill, but not necessarily in experience.
Don't get it wrong, Superman is not a mindless brawler. He's trained with Batman and Wonder Woman. He's even defeated martial arts experts like Cobra without powers.
Goku has spent decades training, but Superman battled Norse demons for 1,000 years.
He's also astonishingly brilliant, like when he reassembled the reality-warping miracle machine from memory. Experience obviously goes to Superman, but perhaps...
Τι σχέση έχει το experience με το ότι έχω το ability να μαθαίνω κάτι γρήγορα?
Less obvious is our last category, powers.
Hakai, Spirit Bomb, Mafuba, Instant Transmission, God Ki, God Bind. How does Goku not win with those?
In Dragon Ball, Ki is dependent on physical ability, so it's different from magic. God Ki is simply pure Ki, and magic isn't an auto win against Superman anyway, whose greater strength could break out of something like the God Bind.
Mafuba and the Spirit Bomb would take way too long, and Goku's never succeeded.
Κυριολεκτικά το Mafuba δεν θα έπαιρνε πολύ long. Είναι instant. Πετάς το πράγμα, Mafuba και ενεργοποιείται.
Successfully used Hakai before.
Και αυτό είναι λάθος.
Would take way too long, and Goku's never successfully used Hakai.
Ναι, όταν λέει messed up εννοεί ότι η επίθεση δεν δούλεψε, αλλά το Hakai το έκανε κανονικά, διότι ο Ζαμάσου πέθαινε.
before. Even if he did land it, Superman's impossible to erase from reality. Like, he's tanked Omega beams, which do the same thing as Nikae.
Superman can time travel, countering instant transmission's similar ability from Heroes. And regarding teleporting him to a red star, ignoring the fact that Sans can't breathe in space, though Goku's certainly tough enough to withstand a vacuum, instant transmission requires another person to act as a beacon. He can't just warp to any red star.
Even if he did, Superman could simply fly away and find a blue or white star for a supercharge.
And Goku could not pull off the same trick twice, as Superman could phase through his attacks.
So, that's it then. Clark has too many counters, so he takes the edge in powers and it's over.
Well, I think there's something else. Goku versus Superman breaches a broader zeitgeist. It's more than just two characters fighting. For a whole generation, especially in 90s America, superheroes represented an unyielding status quo. Spider-Man, Batman, Captain America rarely change who they are or what they believe in. For a lot of people, that's tiring, and Superman is an icon of that. Then along came anime. There was a whole other world of ideas and stories for us sheltered Westerners to experience, and Goku's an icon of that. So while many see this as a debate between characters, others see it as a debate of ideologies and culture. And if that's what's at stake, who wants Goku to lose?
You're sure you're not overthinking this?
It's not our intent, but it does call into question what we're doing. How can people agree with what we take as fact when fiction relies on interpretation? Are we stripping characters of their importance by simplifying them to contestants in a vacuum of violence? And if so, then what's the point?
Because it's fun, Wiz! Damn it, man! There's more than one way to appreciate something! We're having a great time talking about awesome characters and slamming action figures together!
Pipes! Πίπες που λένε στο χωριό μου.
You're right.
I'm just saying, no matter who you prefer, that battle was super, man!
That's the worst pun.
What? It fits them both.
It's so lame.
I don't see you doing any better.
I do the math. The pun's your job.
Well, maybe if you math as good as I punned, then Goku would have won.
What is wrong with you?
Για να μην πιω το επόμενο battle.
Hi, I'm Ben, the voice of Wiz. Thank you.
Galactus εναντίον Unicron. Βαρύ. Αν και τα λεφτά μου θα τα δίνα στο Unicron. Αχ, και αυτό ήταν το Goku εναντίον Superman 3. Περίμενα ότι θα νικήσει ο Goku. Όχι, διότι είναι περίεργος ο τρόπος που αντιμετωπίζουν τον Superman. Παίρνουν όλες τις εκδόσεις του Superman, όλες, καλές, κακές, κουτσές, στραβές, παίρνουν μέχρι και αυτές που κυριολεκτικά του δίνανε power up για να πουλήσουν κόμικ, γιατί ήταν τα παλιά χρόνια ο Superman έπαιρνε κάθε εβδομάδα νέο power up διότι θέλουν να πουλήσουν οι συγγραφείς κόμικ, άρα μία φύσαγε και κατέστρεφε το σύμπαν. Ο Superman είχε πολλά abilities που θύμιζαν πιο πολύ κωμικό χαρακτήρα παρά σοβαρό. Τέλος πάντων, η κατακλείδα είναι ότι με αυτό το σκεπτικό, δηλαδή παίρνουμε έναν χαρακτήρα που είναι χαοτικός, δεν έχει αρχή, μέση, τέλος, απλά ό,τι κάβλωσε σε κάθε... Έχει και 100.000 άτομα που το έχουν γράψει. Ό,τι κάβλωσε σε όλους, του το δώσαμε. Λογικό είναι ότι ο Superman δεν πρόκειται ποτέ να νικηθεί. Άρα δηλαδή σε αυτή τη μάχη είναι άσκοπη. Σου λέει η τάδε έκδοση νικέται, η τάδε έκδοση νικέται, η τάδε έκδοση νικέται, αλλά εδώ πέρα λέει τα παίρνουμε όλα, τα βάζουμε σε ένα blender, προσθέτουμε λίγο αλάτι, χέζουμε και μες στο blender και πάρτα. Που εντάξει, στο τέλος της μέρας είναι ποιος μπορεί να στακάρει τα περισσότερα skills, όχι ποιος είναι ο καλύτερος χαρακτήρας. Τέλος πάντων. Τέλος πάντων. Βάλε άλλο, τράβα δες το μόνος σου, τόσα πολλά έχει. Το κανάλι λέγεται Death Battle. Κάτσε μιλώ μαλακίες. Ναι, το κανάλι λέγεται Death Battle με θαυμαστικό. Έχουν κάνει πολλά βίντεο, μπορείτε να δείτε τον Megatron πολεμάει τη Fisher, δεν σας λέω ποιος νικάει. Το φάση, κοίτα, το Popeye εναντίον Saitama ήταν και αυτό λίγο άσπουλ, γιατί ουσιαστικά η δικαιολογία ήταν ότι και οι δύο είναι limitless, αλλά επειδή ο Popeye είναι gag character, έχει Toon Force, άρα ψολάρει και νικάει αυτό. Τι λέει, τα σύμπαντα είναι μεγαλύτερα από γαλαξίες, το ξέρουμε. Δεν είναι κανένα μυστικό. Άλλο γαλαξίας, άλλο το σύμπαν. Σύμπαν είναι τα πάντα. Ποιος αναπαντάς αλλού. Τι λέει. Καλά, μόνο σύμπαντα τα... Α, οκ, κατάλαβα. Κοίτα. Ένα σύμπαν έχει μέσα πολλούς γαλαξίες. Είναι ασύγκριτα. Είναι σαν να μου λες, τι να σου πω. Το αυτοκίνητο κυρώδες του. Γιατί λέει stream Naruto? Γιατί της αρέσει πάρα πολύ το Naruto. Επίσης, για ποιο λόγο μπήκες από το Twitch και όχι από το YouTube? Θα μου πεις, δεν παίζει ρόλο. Πού είσαι, γιατί ακούγονται φωνές? Α, γιατί ακούγονται φωνές. Οι φωνές. Μη φοβάσαι, Τζακ, οι φωνές. Γιατί ακούγονται φωνές? Μου άρεσε πάρα πολύ αυτό το σχόλιο. Φωνές! Σουτ! Όχι πλάκα κάνω, παιδιά, μιλήστε. Πήρε να πω Superman και εκτός από το main... Το hero να μην λέμε ότι χρησιμοποιούν μόνο main Goku. Όχι, χρησιμοποίησαν όλες τις εκδόσεις του Goku και όλες τις εκδόσεις του Superman. Και... εντάξει, από το Heroes πήραν κυρίως στοιχεία από το manga, διότι αυτό είναι που είναι μεταφρασμένο στα αγγλικά από Scalators. Όχι τόσο το παιχνίδι, γιατί ξέρω ότι ο Xeno Goku στο παιχνίδι είναι ακόμα δυνατότερος. Αλλά πάλι, στην καλύτερη υπάρχουν 4 Goku. Πάω και 60 Superman. Θα κάνεις βίντεο για το Scott Pilgrim? Μπορεί να κάνω κάποια αναφορά σε ένα μεγαλύτερο βίντεο για το Netflix, το Scott Pilgrim. Ναι, θα δούμε. Στην κυριολεξία είναι σαν να είσαι σε καφετέρια. Ρε! Μην κάνετε φασαρία, ρε! Έτσι, μπράβο. Άντε, κάνουν όλη την ώρα φασαρία. Κάτσα, πάω να κάτσω σε άλλο χώρο, να μην ενοχλώ στην καφετέρια. Να, εδώ έχει λίγο λιγότερη φασαρία. Ναι, αυτό είναι το θέμα με το Superman. Όταν έχεις 100 συγγραφείς που γράφουν 100 ιστορίες και δίνουν 100 power-ups, υπάρχουν άλλοι 50 που δίνουν 50 anti-power-ups. Και τώρα, η μάχη στο... πώς λεγότανε? Dark Knight Returns, που εκεί είναι που ο Batman τον σαπίζει στα μπουνίδια το Superman. Ακόμα και με κρυπτονίτη, που του πυροβόλησε το κρυπτονίτη με σφαίρα μέσα στο αίμα και τον έκανε πιο αδύναμο, δεν βγάζει νόημα πως ο Batman με μια μηχανική στολή κατάφερε και τον σάψει στο ξυλό, όσο δυνατόν και να τον κάνει. Η στολή δεν πάβει να είναι ένας άνθρωπος που έχει πάρει power up με μια στολή. Αλλά τι να πω. Άμα θεωρώ, είναι ένα από αυτά τα βίντεο τα οποία μπορούν να τα κάνουν 100 φορές. 100 φορές να πούνε ό,τι θέλουν και να μην μπορεί να τους πει κανένας τίποτα, διότι βασίζονται στη λογική του χρησιμοποιώ μια έκδοση του Superman που είναι ό,τι να είναι. Βάζω όμως και όλους τους Goku. Ναι ρε φίλε, αλλά ο Goku τα continuity του είναι πάρα πολύ linear. Δεν σου κάνει ό,τι σου κάνει. Δηλαδή τώρα αυτό που πήγε ο Superman και ρούφηξε όλα τα αστέρια για να φτάσεις σε εκείνο το... πώς λέγονταν, ο 1000 Year, ο Millennium Superman, ο χρυσός αυτός, που αυτός ουσιαστικά είναι ό,τι πιο τρελό υπάρχει, ούτε καν fan theory. Τι λέει? Κάνα βίντεο για τα Death Battle που να κάνει... Κοίτα, τα Death Battles είναι ωραία που έχουν τα animations. Εγώ animations δεν ξέρω να κάνω σαν για αυτούς. Τώρα, τη λογική που βάζουνε για το πώς νικάνε χαρακτήρες, όλα αυτά είναι σχετικά. Ας πούμε, είδα το βίντεο που είχαν κάνει Τζότζο με Τάντζιρο, δεν έβγαζε νόημα. Θέλαν απλά να νικήσει για κάποιο λόγο ο Τζόναθαν, ενώ κανονικά δεν έπρεπε να τον νικήσει. Στο Freezer εναντίον Megatron υπερστακάρανε τον Megatron για να γίνει θεαματική μάχη και το ending βγάζει νόημα, αλλά πάλι ήταν πολύ τρομακτικό πώς τη γλιτώσαμε. Καλά, αυτό με τις τεχνικές και αυτό μου φαίνεται και εμένα μεγάλη σαχλαμάρα, που παίρνουν ένα χαρακτήρα, δείχνουν τα ability τους και σου λέει πώς να τα χρησιμοποιήσει και τελικά απλά τον έχουν να παίζει μπουνίδια. Δηλαδή, έχει το Godbind, έχει το Godbind, έχει το Mafumba, έχει όλα αυτά και κάθεσαι εσύ και λες, λογικά και αυτά να τα χρησιμοποιήσει. Όχι. Spider-Man είπα. Batman εννοούσα. Και δυστυχώς τελείωσε έτσι αρνητικά. Anyhow, αυτή ήταν η μάχη. Όχι, δεν θα δω μάλλον. Το βίντεο θα το τελειώσω εδώ. Θα σας χαιρετήσω και θα επιστρέψουμε. Βασικά θα πάω πίσω γιατί ετοιμάζω κάτι πολύ ωραίο. Σε λίγες μέρες, 1, 2, 3 μέρες. Μακάρι να είναι 2 μέρες, δύσκολο. Γιατί... Την Τετάρτη έχω μια γαμάτη συναυλία που πρέπει να πάω. Αλλά με εξαίρεση την Τετάρτη, τις υπόλοιπες μέρες εντιτάρω. Σας ετοιμάζω κάτι πολύ καλό, το οποίο ήταν θεωρητικά να βγει σήμερα, αλλά δεν πρόλαβα χθες, με πήρε ο ύπνος. Θα ασχοληθώ όμως και να το δείτε. Λοιπόν, να πούμε γεια στον κόσμο. Γεια σου κόσμε! Εντάξει παιδιά, εντάξει, μη φωνάζετε, μη φωνάζετε. Ηρεμήστε. Και τα λέμε, πηγαίνετε να δείτε καμιά καλή ανημιά και ας εύχομαι το καλύτερο. Δεν ξέρω ποιο είναι το καλύτερο. Σας εύχομαι απλά καλή νύχτα. Το live θα μείνει, όποιος θέλει να το δει μπορεί να το